Okay, I don't make videos about all new moons unless it's an eclipse or something significant. And this Pisces new moon is very significant. Hence the reason I'm doing this while sick. And I know I also haven't been on here a while. Life changes have been absolutely insane, but I really don't want you to miss the forecast for this, because this is not just a regular new moon. This new moon is playing into the spring equinox, which essentially is the astrological, I mean, not essentially, it is the astrological new year. And it's also actually tying to a story that was set off by the total solar eclipse back in September in Virgo at 29 degrees. And eclipses are the doors of fate. This new moon is also doing very incredible things in terms of what it's aspecting in the sky. So I can't miss talking about it. I wanted to get on here and put my interpretation of it. Remember, I think it's so important for you to listen to multiple astrologers talk about these things. And if you can, always get a personal chart reading, especially for significant transits, or especially for your birthday, your own personal significant transits, to understand how it's specifically going to impact you. But listen to multiple astrologers, because different astrologers have different, first of all, use different techniques, have different ways of interpreting things, etc. And I think you'll get the best picture, best idea, mixing in a bunch of that. All right, so if you haven't met me before, hi, I'm the Phoenician Priestess, and I have been very embarrassingly absent on here, not on purpose. I've been so busy with clients and with a retreat that I was hosting. I can't even tell you what happened with that. That was wild. And a lot of other projects and traveling and sick and all this stuff, but I'm happy to be back. If you enjoy this video, I would so appreciate a like, a follow, a subscribe, keeps me going. Also helps me know what you do like. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them below, especially let me know how this is impacting you. And without further ado, let's jump into this. So this is for the new moon in Pisces happening on March 18th, 2026. A new moon is when the moon conjuncts the sun. It is happening at around 6:36 p.m. PST. I speak in PST because LA is mainly where I'm based. I say mainly because I've been traveling and nomading a little bit right now. And it's happening at 28 degrees of Pisces, around 1 degree, around 1 degree away from the anaretic degree, the final degree of Pisces. However, not quite at the anaretic degree. Less than 48 hours after, on March 20th, at 7:46 a.m. PST, is the Aries ingress, aka the sun will go into Aries, aka the spring equinox happens. And the spring equinox is the astrological new year. It is happening within the 3-day window of this new moon. Thus, this new moon's energy event timeline is so much more significant than just the regular 3 days. The astrological new year is the ancient new year that all the old civilizations used to abide by, including the Phoenicians. Remember, this channel is called Phoenician Priestess because the Phoenicians, many historians believe, were actually the founders of astrology before it went to the Babylonians, the Greeks, and the Egyptians, and Phoenician heritage is my heritage directly. And the Babylonians, Phoenicians, and the ancient Persians as well, to modern day Persians now have Nowruz, used the spring equinox, the day the sun entered into Aries, as the start of the new year. So basically, everything you do in a regular new year, the wishes, the things you want to purge, what you want to call in, I recommend you do this year. Now, if you are a Pisces rising, to a certain extent, you can extend this to your sun as well. Then this is essentially, well, actually, if it is your sun, that means you're having your solar return, means it's your birthday. So this is also your new year. So for Pisces risings and Pisces suns, Pisces rising, this is your new year as well. So this is extra special for you. Now, this impact with the proximity, the equinox being within 3 days of this, makes this a more powerful new moon, and also means that something about the energy of this new moon is going to speak to you and be relevant for you for the entirety of the next astrological new year. That means until the next spring equinox in 2027. Some people like to use equinox forecasts for just spring, for just those 3 months. I do not believe that. I actually believe that, especially on a collective level, the spring equinox can tell us how you forecast it specifically on that day, can talk about a lot for forecasts to do for the year forward. Now, let's see, what else do I want to tell you? The other very interesting thing about this new moon Where are you, eclipse? Okay, and this is what I see here. This new moon is also going to tie with something to do with the things that unfolded come the September eclipse on the 21st. It was a total solar eclipse happening at 29 degrees of Virgo. If you are a Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, if you have anything within a few degree orb of 29 degrees of Virgo, you would have especially felt this, or if it was aspecting something else in your chart, remember, this is advanced astrology. To really get into it, I would recommend speaking to a professional astrologer. I'm open for readings, of course, if you'd like. But that means think back to that time. Now, eclipse events tend to start brewing around a month before, and for the full story will continue about 6 months after or until the closing eclipse for that cycle. But really, it tends to be potent the most, the days around. But some people think that if something didn't happen, exactly the day of the eclipse, it means it's not going to happen. That's not true. Think of that overall timing around that 1 month before. It's a month after is the most potent, but 6 months rolling is really what you want to look at. Now, what is 6 months rolling post? 6 months rolling post is March 31st, is 3 days after this new moon, and is 1 day after the spring equinox. This is a pretty big deal. This means for a lot of you, whatever story started, whatever seed was planted at the total solar eclipse in September, is tied to events that are going to come now and could be tied to the events absolutely of this new moon. Why? Besides the actual timing activation, this moon is activating that exact event degree. So that event degree was at 29 degrees of Virgo. This moon is at 28 degrees of Pisces. They oppose each other. Pisces and Virgo, they're sister signs, opposing each other by 180 degrees. And so this is by an orb of 1 degree in opposition. This means this new moon is a button to the activation point of that eclipse. So just like in Dexter's lab, when Dexter's like, Dee Dee, don't press the red button, this new moon is pressing the red button to do with this eclipse. That's why and eclipses are the doors of fate. Things that have to do with eclipses are in a way out of our control, and then have to also do with, you can't really change them. They're really a big deal. Hang on, let me make sure I'm recording. Am I recording? Oh, yeah, thank God. And so this is what makes this this new moon incredibly important. So think about it. For example, if you had someone from your past, if the eclipse in September had something to do with love for you, love lesson, love energy, love karma, eclipses also have to do with karma. And say if the eclipse was on September 21st, let's say someone reached out to you a couple days before the eclipse, like September 15th, September 18th, something like that. But then nothing happened. This is a story, could be a good example for you. Nothing happened in these 6 months. Maybe a past lover reached out, but nothing really happened. What could this new moon be triggering? Well, it could be triggering something to do with the story, a possible new beginning. But since this is happening in Pisces, which is the end of the astrological cycle, and also at 28 degrees, and also activating through an opposition, it could either be a change or a new beginning, like you guys get more serious, committed to each other, they repop up again after they disappeared. It's a continuation of that story, but this time, especially with these aspects, Juno, Saturn, we'll talk about it, maybe they're more serious, but it could also be an ending. Maybe you decide to purge it as well, especially with how Neptune's playing here. Maybe they pop up again, but you're no longer in love with them because that illusion has been popped. I'll use this anecdotal story a little bit more to explain how these aspects could play part. And you can apply this to a career, right? Maybe you got a job offer in September and that kicked off a story, and then something with here is reactivating with this new moon. This will be more specific in your chart when we do the all signs to understand, okay, like say this is a new moon happening in your house at home. You got a job offer, so that means your 10th house. This would mean that something is changing, a new beginning is starting with the home where you live that is somehow being triggered or tied to the story of the job you got in September. You get the idea, something like this. It doesn't have to play out in this way. It will also depend chart by chart, but my point is it will one way or another impact in this way. Now let's talk about as well the aspects over here. Okay, so here we are. Here is the chart for the sky at the time of the new moon. We're looking at this, the new moon here, and the moon touching the sun. And as you can see here, what's really interesting is right now in the sky there is still a massive stellium or stellium happening in Pisces. Now, the moon is in a kind of broad conjunction by 5 degrees with Saturn. Saturn is at around 3 degrees of Aries. This is interesting. The moon is also sextiling Uranus by 0 degrees. Uranus is at 28 degrees of Taurus. Now you don't see here, but at 28 degrees of Taurus, we have a fixed star called Algol, which actually comes from the Arabic Ras al-Ghul, which means head of the monster. And Algol was activated by Uranus and then Mars squaring Uranus when the war in the Middle East started. And this is particularly not just the square to Uranus that a lot of astrologers, I think, also touched on, but because Mars is squaring Uranus while Uranus was touching Algol. That is what really made and is making this war something that is bigger. And this is what's also making me think, because Mars moves slowly, okay? It's still on Algol. And this new moon is actually aspecting it as well. And other things are happening in the sky I won't touch on because I'm not here to talk about the war. But this is what making me think that the war is actually not going to end right now anytime soon. I think things are going to escalate a little bit more. If you want to hear more about my collective predictions, November 2024, I actually released a prediction about the collective for like the next couple of years. And I talked about war, chaos, government, things coming out, things about elites, things about the conspiracies coming true, all the sort of stuff that is relevant coming out now. Also things about aliens. You can go back. It's one of my first videos I posted. Go back and watch that. Okay. And then this new moon, so it's sextiling Uranus by 0 degrees. What's also interesting is it's sextiling Juno, my favorite asteroid, the asteroid of love and commitment, by 1 degree. And that is over here. So if you see here, it's actually creating almost like this mini little trine between them, mini grand trine, sorry. There's both sextiling the new moon over here. We'll go through the all signs about what this means for you, but this is also making it a significant new moon. And then the new moon is also conjuncting Neptune by 3 degrees. Now, with the moon in a kind of broad conjunction to Saturn, this means that there could be a new beginning. Collectively, the energy here is a new beginning that has to do, I'm talking collectively on a personal level, so I'm not talking in terms of governments here. A new beginning that has to do with having more commitment, being more serious. For some people, this new beginning might be coming with a lot of lessons, a lot of structures, a lot of responsibility. And Saturn also rules karma. So this new beginning for a lot of people, remember new moons are new beginnings, could be somehow bringing forward karma or ending karma. With a new moon in conjunction to Neptune over here, for some people, this new beginning can either be kind of like a dream come true energy. So if it's been something that you've been really dreaming about for a while, you wanted for a while, or it feels like, oh my God, is this too good to be true? This almost like idealistic energy. For other people, this new beginning could be tied to breaking of illusion. Illusion being destroyed, right? Because Neptune is both illusionment and disillusionment. Neptune is idealism. Neptune is the higher octave of Venusian themes. Neptune is also connection to other realms and dreams. So this new moon for some people could be coming with heightened sensitivity to intuition, heightened sensitivity to downloads, and prophetic dreams. So pay attention to that as well. Neptune also rules water. So if anyone here sails, swims, thinking of something to do with moving by the water, going on a vacation by the water, is feeling drawn to the water in this time. And now let's talk a little bit about this beautiful little mini grand trine happening with Uranus at Algol. I know Algol's not all bad, by the way, at the 28th degree, and Juno here, and then touching, where are you? The moon. So Juno, asteroid of marriage, love, and commitment. Uranus tends to bring big change, sudden changes also in the ways of thinking. Sudden changes in real life can also bring chaos, but can also inspire action suddenly, hitting the new moon. So collectively, this is an energy that's happening in the collective that has to do with new beginnings with love, right? And because we have the south, here we go, north node. And because we have the north node as well, in Pisces. This is like fated love. This is a very kind of, yes, fated energy. If anyone resonates with the idea of divine counterparts, divine union, twin flames, etc., this could be new beginnings to do here, either a partner returning or suddenly meeting someone new, or if you're in an existing relationship, it's suddenly being asked to go to commitment. Juno is all about commitment. So someone could be proposing, asking you to move in, wanting to do that. It can be so quick. With the Uranian play here, with the Neptunian play, with the Saturnian play, with the North Node being the same sign, this can almost feel like too good to be true, or it could feel like defying logic, fully being driven by intuition, by emotion, by want. This could feel like the universe conspiring as well to bring two people together. Maybe you run into someone. Impulse is going to drive something here. But even though impulse is playing a part here, with Saturn and with Neptune here, and with it all pointing around the new moon, it is tied still to actual commitment, actual responsibility, and actually things that are long lasting. So even if you're feeling driven to a relationship that feels illogical, that feels scary, okay, not in a bad way, right? I mean scary because it will challenge you to grow or requires you to look at the past, not scary in a toxic way. That feels like you're going to risk a lot stepping out there, maybe approaching that person, that feels too good to be true. Neptune here playing a part. Just know, and you're being driven a lot by, again, more maybe emotions, impulses, but just know that around this time, it looks like it has the ability to actually be long lasting. Okay, so that's a big thing here. Now, this is just talking collectively. We'll see on the general level, it could mean you committing to other things in life, a career, entrepreneurship, etc. We'll get to that at the all signs. And the ruler of this new moon, Jupiter, just went direct recently, around a week ago, on March 10th, March 11th, depending on where you were in the world, and is in Cancer, where it is actually in exaltation. Jupiter is very happy in Cancer. And Cancer is another water sign, another very intuitive, emotionally driven sign. And Jupiter is expansion, Jupiter is luck, and in its exaltation, it brings a lot of luck. So even though the world may seem like they have this very intense, heavy energy right now, I just want you to know that, you know, what this new moon is promising, especially because, again, this new moon is tying to an eclipse, and this new moon is tying to the equinox, besides the fact it's even so heavily aspected in the sky, with Jupiter, its ruler in exaltation, and once again moving forward, it was retrograde up until a few days ago. This is promising a lot of beauty, a lot of blessings, a lot of luck coming in and fueling whatever this new beginning is bringing to you. The Cancerian aspect of its ruler right now, is also emphasizing that intuition is going to be a core part of you birthing the reality that this new seed is bringing. Intuition is going to be very active right now, and intuition is a big part of this new moon and a big part of what you should do with it, etc. I'm sorry, I'm sick, so my hair kind of looks wild, but we're just going to deal with it. Okay. It's been a bad one. It's been like 9 days. Shall we get into it? Let's get into the all signs. Now we get into the part where you listen to your all signs. First, always prioritize your rising sign. In 90 whatever percent of cases, your rising sign is not going to be your sun sign. You have to calculate your rising sign. If you don't know it, there are free rising sign calculators online. To do that, you will need your birth city, and you will also need your exact birth time. If you don't know your exact birth time, I would not recommend. I would say, for me personally, like within 5 minutes each way, so 10-minute window total is my accuracy window that's preferred. Anything, the sun is setting soon. I'm like losing my chance to go for a walk. Okay, anything within 10 minutes either way, so 20 minutes total. Personally, in my own astrology business, when I work with clients, I don't consider that accurate. Anything more than 10 minutes, I would want to do a birth time rectification. I have a birth time rectification technique that I use. Some clients come to me just to figure out their birth time. It's a whole multi-step process. But anyway, find out your rising sign, listen to that first. That's going to be the most accurate. Of course, the most accurate is if you do a one-on-one reading with a professional astrologer, because your chart will tell a different story and a more specific story. So even if this all signs for you maybe is, in a generally speaking, not activating a love story, but based off of what's actually in your chart, it could be, for example, something to do with that. Then if you want, you can also listen to your sun, especially because this is not a chart personal reading. So it's good to listen to, different aspects. And then after that, you can listen to your moon. People tend to find the sun is the second accurate, and then moon is third. Of course, it depends on placements, your chart, etc. Okay, Pisces risings, Pisces suns, Pisces moons. I'm starting with you today, and normally you're last. And I'm a Pisces rising. So Pisces, I said this a little bit at the beginning. This is your new moon, meaning I believe, I count this as almost like this is like your new year besides your actual solar return. And it's coinciding with the astrological new year this year. And so for you, this is an especially big deal. It's hitting your first house, an angular house, meaning that for you, it's double going to be, double going to be, this could actually trigger a chain of events that affects every aspect of your life, right? Not just to do with your sense of self. This is totally like new beginnings that can be a dominoes effect everywhere because of where it's hitting in your chart. If you didn't listen to my intro, please do, because I do collective personal readings, but I go a bit deeper. I talk about every single aspect. You might find, especially because this is a Piscean one, a Piscean new moon, that it strongly relates to you. So listen to that as well. It could be affecting you as well, even if I don't talk about certain things here. And I also explain how this ties to the eclipse story. Now, this new moon is happening in your first house, and it's creating like almost this mini beautiful little trine, little mini trine, while with sextiling Uranus in your third house, and also sextiling Juno in your 11th house. The ruler of the moon, Jupiter, is currently direct in your 5th house. And it's tying to to the eclipse that did things, stirred things up, total solar eclipse in your 7th house. So for you, a lot of Pisces listening to this is a story to do with, and I'm not saying this because I love love, but it could be a story to do with love, right? But love in your sense of self. So for some of you, this could be a sudden new beginning in how you view yourself, or how you've been showing up in relationships, triggered with how you're thinking, triggered with new messages that came in, triggered with new realities. You could have had, especially with Saturn and Neptune here, a delusion could have been suddenly erupted and broken. You could have someone from the past coming forward, or someone from the past, how they treated you, could have suddenly just hit a breaking point for you in terms of, I'm not going to allow myself to be treated this way, etc. You could have someone from the past come forward, and because of how you've changed in terms of positively putting boundaries, positively treating yourself, suddenly they want to maybe come make an offer for you, or want to get serious about relationships here. Especially if it's someone with Juno in the 11th house, someone that you've had a long-term dream about or long-term goal about. With Jupiter in the 5th house, Jupiter is blessing love things that come forward now. But because this is again happening in Pisces, 28th degree, tying to a path, this could also be like maybe some of you actually need to let someone go in order for new love to quickly flow in. This looks like with Uranus here and with the timing of things, that if that were to happen, it would be a sudden energy. For a lot of you, you're going to be putting a lot of new effort into your appearance. You could suddenly, or your physical health, your fitness, like losing weight, glowing up, changing your fashion, changing your style, changing your hair, changing the way you walk, changing how you hold yourself. You could be like, you know what, I'm so sick of this status quo. I really want to change it. For a lot of you, you could be feeling very angry right now because of how close Mars, Mercury, both of them together are to this new moon, especially Mars. With this stellium here, that anger could be coming out as well as just drive, and that drive could be coming out in a positive way in yourself, your goals, like what are the things that I want to accomplish this year? This is the year where I want to focus on myself. You could just have this very much like, nothing is going to stop me from going after my dreams, or I'm so locking in on whatever glow up or transformation or goals that I have. And with Jupiter again being direct at this time, Jupiter is blessing you. So if you have suddenly new goals in terms of where you want to live, where you want to go in life, how much money you want to make, Jupiter is blessing that. So it's a very positive energy for that to happen. And on top of that too, with the Pisces and Jupiter being in Cancer, a lot of the things that you could be getting ideas for that, whatever, could be coming in the form of downloads, intuition, or emotional nudges. And you're going to want to listen to that as you're making decisions for the new beginnings. Where is the anger taking me? Where is the drive taking me? Where is the anger at how I'm being treated, how I'm being viewed, or how I feel like I haven't gotten where I want to be, or whatever, combined with my want, my yearning, my excitement? Where is all of that taking me? And that's going to be an answer for you in terms of what decisions to make, where to go, what to do, and all of this stuff. And there's a lot of synchronicity happening right now, and being driven by all of these aspects in the sky. So like the universe is making it very easy for you to find the tools, to find the right people, to meet the this, to meet the that, to make it happen, right? So Pisces, for you, this is like such a good thing. Am I still recording? Hang on. Yeah, we are. We're good. It's such a good thing. It's such a beautiful sky. It's so blessed. And I would really say, I'm a Pisces rising. I'm feeling all of this, to be honest. I've been like suddenly, and I'm very romancy and happy-go-lucky and all this stuff. The last 2 days, I had this like fuming, I've always been ambitious, but it wasn't that. It was just this fuming rage. And I had a lot of Pisces will also be reflecting on things like relationships and how maybe, again, it's hitting your relationship axis. It's hitting your I am versus we. Where did you lose yourself in a relationship, or where are positive relationships bringing yourself out as well? This can swing both ways. Again, both will be positive, whether it's coming in the form of I need to lose this connection or abandon illusionment to move on and attract the right love. And this has taught me a lesson in self-respect and boundaries and illusion. Or whether it's coming from, oh my God, the person I've dreamt of for so long has come back to me or want something serious, or I'm with them and now they just proposed this new beginning and things are going better in our relationship because I've been focusing on myself. There's a tie with the self and the other here as well. Pisces, I think I'm going a little bit long with you. But normally you're last, so I kind of want to give this to you. And also it's your new moon. So that's it. Now, also, for some of you, actually, this could also tie with passion, joy, sex, hello, and entrepreneurship. Like, again, but because it's in your first house, you're getting serious about your life in many different ways. Many different ways. And so for some of you, it's suddenly also reevaluating your entrepreneurship goals, reevaluating just your mindset, reevaluating for some of you how you show up on technology, reevaluating what your hobbies, connecting with joy again means, reevaluating what you want in dating. Just some of you actually might be like, I'm done with dating, but you're just going to feel this. I think the universe is going to do other things, by the way, because of this kind of rage factor that's coming in with defending of the self. Now, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but let me look at the chart here real quick. This new moon is also in an aspect to Black Moon Lilith. Wait, what's happening? Where's my chart? Yes. No, sorry. Actually, it's that Mars is currently squaring Black Moon Lilith. And so this could be even adding this kind of, no, I don't want to say like revengeful, but this kind of like, where was I thwarted? This is something that's active in the sky right now, even if it's not directly aspecting this moon. And so that energy is also fueling a lot of this ambition and new beginning that you're feeling. Okay. So Pisces, that's your forecast for this new moon. Remember what I said at the beginning. Please go watch the beginning. This is a more powerful new moon than usual, and my predictions timing for this new moon are beyond just the normal 3 days that I say, beyond even the 30-day cycle. It's bigger than that. Go watch the beginning to see why. It's going to be triggering other things. Pisces, actually, I gave this anecdotal story at the beginning of how to understand how it's triggering the eclipse that happened in September. That anecdotal story was based off of your chart alignment. So if you had something love-wise change, like an ex suddenly reached out within the eclipse window in September, but then nothing really happened, or that you started dating, but you're not as serious as you want to be, or whatever, something to that story is coming here. So either you guys are going to depart, or they're going to reach out again, or if you're together, it's going to go to the next level. There's something to do with that story and the relationship with the things you've made with how you are in that relationship. So if things are out of balance, if you were the one who was not giving enough or whatever, or you've possibly had a lot of new beginnings lessons with that here, and this is somehow going to tie to that in September. Pisces, okay, I don't know how long it's been going on, but I will move on to the next sign now. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Also, if this was accurate, I love hearing that. Honestly, it keeps me going, especially because I've been so busy and life has been kind of chaotic and crazy, right? Like my parents, my family, beyond my parents, are all the war zones happening now. So I'm sorry I've disappeared from here, but if you've enjoyed it, do let me know in the comments below. It is very encouraging, especially coming back on YouTube. All right, moving on. Aries, Aries suns, Aries moons, Aries risings. Actually, I should start by listing Aries risings because that is the most accurate. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces forecast. For all the details about this new moon, including some extra predictions I've made, please go and check out the beginning. It is really important because I can't repeat all that information here, including the degrees, the timing, all of the stuff. Okay, so Aries, for you, this new moon may be a more internal one. However, with the way that Uranus is playing here, I think it'll be both internal and external. This new moon is beyond just the regular new moon, including the timing. It's going to go beyond just 3 days back and forth, etc. I go more into that at the beginning, so please listen there. But for you, this new moon is bringing a new beginning in terms of looking at your chart. It could be a new beginning for you psychologically, a new beginning for you spiritually, a new beginning for you in terms of trauma healing, a new beginning in terms of mental health, a new beginning in terms of spirituality, driven by things to do either with your family or your home, or driven by things to do with your career, or driven by things to do with money. What I mean by that is any of those things could be triggering big realizations for you to either the importance, especially with Saturn playing a part with this new moon here, to get serious about your mental health, to get serious about your money, to get serious about your spiritual routine, right? You could feel yourself, either things to do with home, money, career, very shaken up emotionally, very shaken up mentally. For some of you, for example, you could be feeling like if you're having a hard time, if you need to be making more money, if you're not managing your money well, if you're having a hard time finding a job, if you're not, but you're not pivoting ideas or not trying new things, if you're having a hard time with family or figuring out where to live or not liking where you live, but you're not taking action, and you've suddenly realized that this a lot is really affecting your mental state, and there's this relationship with both of them. This new moon is asking you to get serious. And it's actually triggering a new beginning. So maybe you've already realized all this and you're having the new beginning of what is the new spiritual steps I have to take, the new routine I have to take, the new, maybe I hire a therapist, maybe I hire a coach, maybe I hire an astrologer, maybe I start journaling, maybe I start meditation, maybe I start praying, maybe I start listening to my intuition, maybe I haven't listened to my intuition before, maybe I now learn how to differentiate fear and intuition. These are themes that are really coming up. For some of you, you could have already had this new beginning and you're starting to do things differently and you've introduced the new beginning here. And for others of you, your emotional, mental, or spiritual state, maybe even your sleep, maybe even your dreams could be really impacted right now in a negative way. And it could be because it's forcing you to create this new beginning. However, with the beautiful little trine that's happening here, for some of you, it could be the opposite. Maybe you have further faith. Maybe you are feeling better emotionally. Maybe this is a new beginning to do with that because you've had positive changes and blessings that have had to do with your home and where you live, because you've had sudden changes that could be positive in terms of money or real estate, or because you've had some career change as well. For some of you, you could also be spending a lot of time alone right now, but that alone time is necessary, and you're using that alone time to get very serious and very committed when it has to do with your purpose, your career, your hobbies, and your internal emotional state, as well as your money and your investments. And Jupiter here is saying that a lot of good is going to come from this, right? A lot of good is going to come overall, even if it doesn't seem like that, or if it does seem like that, even if you're spending more time alone, you're focusing more on yourself, you're getting all these lessons to do with your mental health, your spiritual state, your connection with God, whatever. It's leading to blessings. It's leading to good things, to things to do with all of these areas of life that I talked about. Okay, Aries, suns, moons, and risings. Don't forget to listen to your other signs as well. Leave a comment if you have any questions below, or if this resonated. Also, I just love reading them, and it's very encouraging since I've been off of YouTube for a while. And thank you, and we'll move on to the next one. Hello, Taurus risings. Time check. Okay, seeing when the sun sets because I need to get a walk in. It was raining all of today. Okay, Taurus, suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces forecast. This is a bigger than usual new moon. It's happening on 18th of March, 28 degrees of Pisces. But to figure out the longer than usual timing and the bigger than usual impact, please, please, please listen to the beginning. I promise you it's going to be worth it. If you think it wasn't, let me know in the comments. Actually, you know what? If you think it was, let me know in the comments. It's always better to be positive than negative. Now, for you, and this new moon is creating like a little mini grand trine with Uranus and Juno here. Uranus in your first house, Juno in your ninth, and the ruler of this new moon, Jupiter, has become direct a few days ago. There are other aspects of this new moon that I'm paying attention to where they are in your chart that I explained at the beginning of this video. So go watch that. Other planets and asteroids that are playing a play here, including Eros, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune. This is very, very strong new moon. But for you, this could be a new beginning having to do with your sense of friendship, having to do with your long-term goals, having to do with your long-term dreams, having to do with where you belong, your soul family. If you work in technology and tech, this might have to do with that. If you help in your community or you're thinking of community, this could have to do with that as well. For some of you, changes you've had to your worldview, to how you view the world, to life, to your philosophies, to the way you think, to your spirituality, to the connection with God, have impacted. There's been this relationship between that and between changes you've gone within yourself. Maybe how you've taken care of your body, how you viewed yourself, how you've grown, how you've started setting boundaries, how you've worked on yourself. These two, you've had a lot of growth and a lot of changes here. And now they are leading to a new beginning in terms of when you're thinking of your soul tribe, in terms of your thinking, where do I belong? In terms of your thinking, what is your long-term goals here? There's this beautiful energy where they're all feeding to each other, right? A change in your looks, your appearance, your dedication to yourself, your creed, I call it your creed, your I am, may have led to a change in your spirituality or vice versa, maybe led you to go to some retreat or something or travel. And that's led to some kind of a change to do with where do I actually belong? Oh my God, I just made a new friend. You could be finding a new soul tribe here, finding a new sense of belonging. For some of you, you could be moving somewhere else. You could be starting, excuse me, I'm sick. Which I also said in the beginning. You could be starting some kind of a new hobby, some kind of a new life goal, a new dream. Actually, there could even be dream fulfillment coming in here. Some of you could be receiving some kind of a news or a message, or could be having to do with travel that is triggering this new sense of community or new sense of dreams or goals or belonging, a new beginning here. Some of you could have gone to a retreat or done some kind of a course, and yeah, again, triggering this new thing. There's a beautiful new blessed lucky energy. This could be a time where if you've had the intention or you want to set the intention of finding your soul tribe, finding a more aligned community, wanting to find people who you're happy to become the average of, who bring positive energy to your friendship, wanting to go after your dreams, wanting some support with that. This is a time where you're being blessed here and being blessed with that, either in setting the intention of it or with the new beginning actually coming in this time. And this is where you're going to be seeing a lot of expansion, a lot of change, a lot of luck. I would recommend you follow your intuition and you follow your emotions. Listen to your body in terms of what's aligned with you and what's not when it comes to this. Okay, thank you, Taurus, suns, moons, and risings. Any questions, please let me know below. And I'll see you next time. And don't forget to listen to your other signs as well. Okay, moving on to Gemini. Gemini sun, Gemini moon, Gemini rising. I list it as sun, but really I should be listing it with rising because your rising sign forecast should be the most accurate when you're listening generally and not doing personal reading. Gemini, please listen to the beginning. In the beginning, I also let you know that I've been sick, and I still am, but I talk about very important collective level personal predictions that could be applying to you. I can't see your personal chart right now, so I don't know. So this is a good way to get extra predictions that may be accurate for you, and to understand the energy that other people could be going through, so you understand what's going on. I do talk about a little bit what's happening also on a world level basis at the beginning, as well as why this new moon is not a normal new moon, in terms of the timing and the power and the story, and how this new moon ties to what's unrolling with faith and the eclipses. So, interesting. I just noticed some stuff. Okay, so Gemini, this is bringing Gemini rising, sun, moon, whatever. This is bringing a new beginning to do with career, purpose, and leadership for you. For some of you, this actually could be seeing, also knowing how this ties to the eclipse that happened in September, seeing some other thing here with Juno in your 8th. This actually could also, and Saturn and Neptune playing a part with it here. This could also have something, for a very small number of you, this could be marriage as well. You could either be having your wedding, you could be getting engaged to, you could be having important conversations about that. You could suddenly be getting proposed to, whatever. This, for some of you, this could be marriage because it's about changing your status in society as well. And being driven by Juno, with this sextile with Juno in the 8th, with it being tied to the eclipse in September. So for example, if you had a love interest enter or get more serious in September, when this, sorry, that would have been your 4th. Okay, yeah. Or you were thinking more about things like family back in September, or something changed the past few months. This could be it suddenly going to the next level, getting serious, changing how you live, right? When you get married, you move in with someone, they become part of your family unit. And so this new moon could be changing the status, building off of a new beginning when it comes to family back then. For some of you, you could be getting a promotion for sure. For some of you, your intuition, your feelings, your emotions could suddenly be pushing you to make a career change and career shift. This new moon is suggesting that you listen to that, listen to your emotions. Of course, well, actually, the job that I do separate to this, I'm actually a career coach. So I was going to say, I'm not a career coach. Wait, yes, I am. I'm here talking as an astrologer, not talking as a career strategist. But as an astrologer, I would tell you to listen to your intuition right now. As someone who literally advises career to people that are like VPs and VCs and etc., I would tell you to do a strategic analysis before you make big decisions. But being astrologically driven, why I got so far in life is using astrology, is listening to my intuition, is paying attention to what my chart says about career and about money. And for you, there's a new beginning that's tied here to do with intuition, and career. So it's an intuition, emotionally led change to do with that. Maybe a dream you've had for a very long time, a nudge that you're having of what you want to do, etc. Some of you could be getting a new job. Some of you could be starting a new side hustle. And with Jupiter in your 2nd house here, Jupiter is blessing you a lot when it comes to money, investment, stock, and real estate at the same time. This could actually, some of you could be thinking of a new career to do with those things, a new career to do with real estate, investing, finance, etc. But Jupiter is promising this to be fulfilling. Saturn here is saying, though, get serious about it. You need to be committed to it. You actually need to have structure to it. You have to use action. Don't just keep thinking. If you want to be making more money, if you want a promotion, if you want a new job, if you want to whatever, be promoted to a leadership role or be an entrepreneur, Saturn is saying, well, okay, we'll get serious about it. And Jupiter is saying, if you get serious about it, I will bless you financially and here as well. And this could be also coming from, with Uranus in the 12th, it's also suggesting there may have been a sudden ending that triggered some of this. For some of you, there could have been a sudden download, a sudden intuitive nudge, or a sudden mental health crisis, or a sudden positive mental health shift that is suddenly flooding this and bringing this here. This could even look like, for some of you, maybe you suddenly start having very bad mental health because of work, and it positively triggers a new beginning in career that ends up blessing you a lot down the line. Yeah. would say that. For some of you, this could have to do with contracts, to do with career and entanglements, financial entanglements. Maybe you owe money. Maybe there's a contract coming here, but it's positive. So either you're going to pay it back, or money is being paid to you, or it is a good time to be making contracts or enter business partnerships or things like that. Okay, Gemini, rising suns and moons. That's where I'm going to end it today. If you have any questions, please let me know. If any of this resonated, please also let me know. That's my favorite part to read. I also love to hear, when you listen to general readings, what's resonating with you the most. Does it match the theory? That should be the rising sun and then moon. Or is it something else? Let me know. And thank you for being here. And if, of course, this resonated, it helps me out so much to just like, subscribe, anything like that, share the video. Wow, that would be amazing, actually. All right, okay. So next, moving on to Cancer. How am I with the timing of the setting of the sun? Okay, Cancer suns, Cancer moons, Cancer's risings. Actually, rising will be the most accurate, but listen to those other ones too if you're not going to get a personal reading done with an astrologer. Also, by the way, I am open for readings. Okay, whatever. Cancer, welcome to your new moon in Pisces forecast. The new moon is happening at the 18th of March at 28 degrees of Pisces. Please listen to the beginning. I go into so much important detail that can really apply to you on a personal forecast level. I also explain how the timing of this new moon is different and more important, and how the current aspects of the sky make this moon more important. And I think you will find that is very valuable. Lots of important stuff there that I just cannot repeat for every sign, or this video would be like 4 hours long. But for you, this moon has to tie about a lot of things. It's a very blessed new moon. It's a very spiritual new moon. For some of you, this can actually be a spiritual awakening happening, a sudden spiritual epiphany that is being driven either by a partner you've had, or a relationship change, or someone new that you've met, or that is being driven by finding a new community, a new soul tribe, or by something you saw to do with technology. It could be literally like, I've seen people have, spiritual awakenings in this, or their worldview entirely changes, or they have a sudden epiphany where they were maybe really struggling with their emotional or spiritual health or life view, and then suddenly they change to one that is more positive, especially with Jupiter here. You could have had a change in your sense of self. You could have done a lot of work on yourself, a lot of healing, and this could be leading to, as well, a suddenly new spiritual rebirth, spiritual beginning. For some of you, you could be moving somewhere foreign, or doing immigration papers, visa papers, and this could be tied to being driven to you seeking out, carving a life for yourself that you're very happy with, very fulfilled with, that you've always wanted to do, you working on yourself, and this involves that. Some of you could be going on a foreign trip or doing some kind of a retreat. One sec. That is being driven by you wanting to focus on yourself more, you wanting to learn how to have boundaries for yourself more, you learning things like this. For some of you, you could be starting a relationship with someone who lives somewhere else, or with someone foreign, or there could be someone tied to something foreign or living somewhere else that causes you to move or travel. There's some kind of like travel with some foreign aspect being driven by this here. Maybe some of you are getting the intuitive nudge that who you belong with, or your partner, is somewhere foreign. You're being drawn there. If that's the case, you are a Cancer rising, but this new moon is happening in Pisces in the 9th house, which is very, very spiritual, big picture house. It's like spirituality, not on the lower level, but on the bigger level. And so this is tying to something to do with a bigger vision for you here. With the 9th house also rules astrology, also rules courses, also rules higher education. So this could be a time, if you're thinking or you're intuitively getting signs, nudges, emotional nudges to do something that has to do with that here. This is a sign that it is a strong time for you to do that as well. But this is for overall for you, this is going to be a lot of changes that end up reflecting back to you changing, you growing, and you taking your life to the next level, whether it's through moving somewhere foreign, taking a retreat somewhere foreign, having this new spiritual epiphany, spiritual awakening, traveling for love, traveling because you're trying to find where you belong, your committee, hiring an astrologer, a mentor, or enrolling in some kind of a course. It's about this kind of like expansion and curiosity on a very deep level that happens either through spiritual or through foreign or education-based means, and it's going to be blessing something to do with your relationship and friendship houses. And so it's and your sense of self. And so it's a very, very beautiful new beginning for you here. And this is not just tied to the new moon. I explain it further, and this could be part of a story that changed your thinking, or part of a story that has to do with something that changed and started happening in September. So pay attention to that as well, because that will come up as well. Okay, thank you, Cancer. If you have any questions or if that resonated, please let me know below. Okay, moving on to Leo. Leo suns, Leo moons, Leo risings. Welcome to your March 18th new moon in Pisces forecast. This is not a normal new moon. This is actually going to be tied to an eclipse activation for the total lunar eclipse that happened in September 21st. The second eclipse that went with that, the full moon eclipse on March 3rd, if you saw nothing that closed or continued that story so far in March, this could be a point where it comes up again. But this new moon also has ties with the equinox, which I believe will affect your energy for the next astrological new year. I explained all of that in the beginning. It's a very big new moon for you here. And for you, Leo risings, suns and moons, this is going to be a very internal new moon, but like in a big way, very big way, because it's your 8th house. It's a death and rebirth. So it could be feeling very intense, right? Like you could be having sudden career changes. Maybe you got laid off. Maybe you're worried about money. Maybe your manager is a DICK, or maybe you're followed the career of your dreams. I don't know. Maybe you're having a bad work-life balance. Maybe you had a health scare, or maybe you've been positively recommitted to your health, whatever. But these two big changes are suddenly leading to you feeling like you're having an entirely new death and rebirth. For some of you, it could have been a mental health change, maybe a mental health crisis, maybe at some kind of an ending, or maybe a new spiritual outlook, a new connection with God that again is causing you to have this like very intense death and rebirth. You could also be having a new beginning emotionally, like if there's been a trauma or a traumatic state or mental health state or belief that's always held you down, you've purged that, or you are purging that, and it's starting a new beginning here. A new moon in Pisces in your 8th house is really about you diving into Hades and transmuting whatever dark stuff has been holding you back. Again, for some of you, it could have been mental health, spiritual, it could have been some kind of ending. And this is going to have a positive effect. It's also talking about like some positive effect that's flowing in to do with your career, your sense of purpose, and some positive effect to do with your health and your daily life. They're flowing in and intertwined and all together over here. For some of you, this could also be like a new sexual beginning, a new sexual healing. The 8th house is entanglements. 8th house also does talk about the sexual level, the spiritual level of sex, both to do with your own sexual energy, maybe learning that more, healing that more, or to do with someone else, right? You could be meeting a soul that becomes very entangled with you, maybe you met them when you had a health change, or you met them at a gym, or you met them at work, or they trigger some kind of a career change, etc. But there's something here of a new beginning to do with this beautiful, with your death and rebirth. It's a renaissance for you, with your transmutation of dark to light, or with sex, or with some cases finances. Other astrologers love to talk about the finance aspect here. I think it's a lot more than that. That is, again, being driven by a big spiritual level change in you, emotional level change in you, mental change in you, ending change in you. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time alone, and this time alone has brought up all these epiphanies for you to suddenly be able to transmute that and have this amazing new beginning in how you show up here. So this is a very beautiful, blessed energy, and it's very spiritual energy. Even if it does feel more internal, you're going to know what I'm talking about. It's going to feel intense and feel like a rebirth has happened. And if you're still at the kind of more darker ends of that, like the heart, what feels darker, or maybe you're not at the new beginning birth of that, just know that what the sky is saying is so positive, so blessing coded, so blessing filled. So don't worry about that. And maybe you're already at the new beginning part of that, right? I've seen some people in this case have, it could look like starting a new routine daily that suddenly heals something in them that's bothered them for a long time. It could look like someone having a big sudden epiphany or milestone, healing like a big PTSD wound or a sexual trauma wound, etc. It could look like having suddenly a massive spiritual, sensual connection that came out of nowhere. And it suddenly, because in spirituality, sexual energy is also tied to money, and it can trigger a change reverberating the rest of your life to do with career, to do with your health, to do with all these other things. Sexual energy is also creation energy. It's life force energy. So it's a very beautiful new beginning that's impacting a lot of these aspects in you. You could also, I think I mentioned, be having sudden career changes here that trigger some of this. Oh, yeah. I mean, if we take it on a kind of less exciting level, maybe less exciting for me, but you could have a sudden career change that triggers you being able to pay back a debt suddenly, being able to provide for someone suddenly. Maybe suddenly you are able to just pay it back, or you get more money coming in because you have a career change. Yeah, and follow your intuition here if you're having to make decisions related to that. Your intuition will speak with you, and it will also speak with you in your body. All right, okay. And this new moon is also asking you, by the way, to get serious if you haven't started about a lot of this, to get serious about these things. All right, thank you, Leos. If you have any questions or if a part of that resonated or part resonated more than the other, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed any part of this at all, a like and a subscribe helps me so much, and I appreciate it so, I was going to say so terribly, but I don't like that phrasing. I appreciate it so much, so thank you. Moving on to Virgo risings. Virgo, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on you today. I also did with Pisces, because this is hitting your 1st to 7th axis, your relationship versus I am axis. And so this is going to be a new moon that strongly is impacting you, especially because this new moon is a button that is triggering the events of the Virgo total lunar eclipse that happened on September 21st. So this is tied to fate, and that eclipse was in Virgo, your own sign. So this is really going to hit you. So we're going to spend a little bit more time on you here, Virgo. I need a breathing break. If you missed the beginning, I mentioned that I have been quite ill, quite sick. This is actually the longest I've been sick in a few years. And it's been a very crazy time. So if I haven't seen you in a while, nice to see you. I'm just meeting you, nice to meet you. But please, either way, listen to the beginning. Listen to the beginning, Virgo, especially for you, because this is things I say, predict, explain in the beginning. I go deeper into what I said about the eclipse. I go deeper, I give also predictions on a collective level and more tied to every single aspect tied to this new moon. I list all of those out in more detail than in these all signs. I talk about how this ties to the spring equinox that is happening less than 48 hours after this new moon, and how I believe this will actually tie something about this new moon, this beginning, is going to tie to actually the energy you'll see in your life for the entire next astrological new year. All of that is explained in the new moon. So in the beginning. Now, this new moon is happening at 28 degrees of Pisces on March 18th. And again, for you, Virgo, triggering something that may have happened in your life or come into your life or changed in your life, or certain events between August to October, but specifically around September 21st, that week before, week after, right? So around like 13th of September to the end of September. Think back then, think back of themes. It would have themes to do with, again, yourself, changes with yourself. Maybe you saw how, and also relationship, things to do with, if there were some kind of, maybe for some people, relationship endings that triggered lessons to do with self. Or for some people, if yourself got in the way of relationship things, and then there was a false start, a relationship re-triggering, or maybe a new beginning that happened in September, but something quite not all the way, and so it's re-emerging here. Go back and think of that, because somehow it's playing a part here. Virgo, for you, this new moon is strongly related to relationships, is strongly related to that. But for you, it's like, again, if you've had a lot of self-work to do in the last 6 months, that's birthing a new beginning when it comes to relationship. And it could be, again, from someone tied back to September. I've been going nonstop. How long am I going? I don't even know. I think I need to take a break. Okay, sorry, Virgos. So for you, and you know, this moon, I talk about the aspects in detail at the beginning, but it's it's sextiling or being sextiled by Juno in your 5th and by Uranus in the 9th. This is so love-coded, Virgo, so love-coded. And then the ruler of this moon, Jupiter in our 11th, just went direct a few days ago. All right, so this is basically looking like this is all love. So if you've been with someone, if you've started dating someone in the last 6 months, maybe it got more serious in the last 6 months, maybe September you met them, maybe September you started talking to them again, maybe September they came back, maybe September they took it to the next level. It's going to go even more to the next level now, especially because Saturn is around 5 degrees away from this. So you're going to get more committed now. Your relationship's going to get more serious. Maybe this means a proposal. Maybe this means moving in together. Maybe this means having important, serious conversations. For some of you, this means wanting that and asking about that and maybe seeing it's not going to happen because Neptune's also here. I hope it's not the ending. There is a little bit of an ending energy here, but not for everyone for sure. And it could just mean an ending of how things were being done. For some of you, you're going to be wanting that commitment, wanting that next level. And if you're not getting it, you're going to be like, okay, bye, thank you, next. For some of you, if you're not with someone, if it's the story of you're single, you could be meeting someone new and starting a relationship new, or you could have, however, this is much more giving someone from the past vibes if you're not already in a relationship. The reason I say that, do you really want to know the reason I say that? I mean, I could go and give you the astrological theory. I will just say that, okay? So trust me, I am good at my job. So it is giving, if you're not already in a relationship with that someone new you may have met in the last 6 months, then this is giving it restarting. And I will bet money, dear Virgo, that it might be you restarting it. Why? Because the new moon is in your 7th, being driven by Jupiter in the 11th, which talks about your long-term goals, long-term dreams. This makes me think this person could have been on your mind in a while. Saturn is there. Saturn is asking you to be the one to get serious in your house of 7th. And then this is triggering an eclipse that happened in your 1st house back in September. This is telling me you had to do some kind of a self-growth, self-change. You've gone through some kind of a transformation the last 6 months. Hereby telling me you're going to be the one most likely to be maybe having some kind of a conversation, reaching out to someone, sending a message, and getting serious. Juno in your 5th house is asking you that if there was some kind of a fling or a romance or some kind of a passion, but you were not committed yet, it's asking you to commit to that. So Saturn is asking you to do it. Sorry, by the way, Saturn is now in your 8th house, no longer in your 7th, but this new moon is in the 7th, and Saturn in the 8th. The 8th house deepens the 7th. So if the 7th is about relationship, the 8th is about solidifying that even more. 7th is marriage, but 8th is spiritual entanglement, spiritual marriage. 8th is two souls becoming one. And actually Saturn in the 8th is part of what is telling me that this is someone from your past. If it's not your actual past, then it's someone from your past life. If none of these love meanings are relating to you, like if you're not in a relationship, if you're not married, and if you're not single and wanting to be in a relationship, then this has to do with more business partnership, soul friendship. That's super easy to explain here. Maybe you're especially with Juno in the 5th, if you're looking for an entrepreneurial partner, a business partner, this is indicating that you'll find one or you'll meet one, or that there's a positive change happening here. And for a lot of you, there's going to be sudden travel, and it can have to do with, again, with the business partnership. Maybe you're flying to see them or something like that. And this is all to do with fulfilling some kind of dream you've had of entrepreneurship that you've just been waiting to find that right person to do it with. It could be with that. But for most of you, I think this is going to be love related as well. For some of you, you'll be traveling for love. You could be right now, maybe even listening to this, you could have flown, you could be spending time with your long distance partner. That's big here. One of you is flying to see the other. What else? This is all flowing together very beautifully of this partner and a change in even your dreams, your long-term goals, traveling. Maybe some of you are considering where to move to live near each other. But this is a love story. So if you're on the other end of existing, but it's getting more serious, or I'm single right now, but I'm thinking of someone from the past and I've had all these changes and I'm going to make a move forward. Or I've let go of someone from the past because they didn't treat me how I should be treated, boundaries, whatever, they didn't want to commit. And so I've now invited someone new in, or I'm married, but we've been having issues and I've worked on myself. And now it's kind of like a new beginning in the marriage. This is what it's giving. And it's going to positively flow. Again, things to do with travel, things to do with your spiritual belief, your belief in God, things to do with long-term dreams and goals you've had for a long time and belonging. For some of you, even things to do with entrepreneurship, right? Like this beautiful flow of energy, like maybe your partner even ends up having a positive impact on that, is all flowing together. Virgos, this is beautiful for you. This is very tied to fate for you, very tied to the long term for you. And there's been lessons for you the last 6 months to do with lessons of self and in relationship. Where have things been out of balance? Some of you have been using hyper independence as a shield. Some of you have been using hyper dependence as a shield to not answer maybe growth you've had to do on your own, either way. And you've had a lot of lessons to do with that. If some of you lost yourself in relationship, you've had lessons to do with that. If some of you pushed away relationships that you actually want back, you've had lessons to do with that. If some of you got broken up with, if some of you did the breaking up, but there was some kind of a lesson here and a new beginning, a lesson here and a new beginning, lessons with that. And now there's a beautiful, beautiful new beginning. But I really believe with Saturn playing its part here with what I know your own ruler is doing right now, I think it's going to have to do with, a lot to do with you, and especially because it's pressing the button of the eclipse in September, which was all about you, your sense of self, you being the driver of this somehow. Virgo risings, if you have any questions at all, let me know. And if you are a Virgo rising, Virgo sun, moon, etc., I have a theory right now that divine unions, twin flames, whatever other people like to call them, that are on the Pisces Virgo axis, Pisces Virgo risings, are having this new moon is bringing the next level to that. So some kind of next milestone in that story. If you have any questions, if any of this resonated, if you enjoyed any of this, let me know in the comments. I love reading them. And if this was helpful for you at all, a like, a subscribe helps me so, so, so much. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next one. Okay, Libra suns, Libra moons, Libra risings, welcome to your Pisces new moon forecast. This is not a normal Pisces new moon. Please, please, I beg you, listen to my the beginning. It will go into so much more detail and explain a lot of important things about this new moon. And if you're new here, please also know that you should actually be listening to your rising sign first. And in more cases than not, your rising sign is not the same as your sun sign. You can figure that out for free online if you have not done it before. If you've had a reading with an astrologer, they should have told you that. And so listen to your sun, moon, and rising. Since this is a general reading, it's never going to be as accurate as a personal, but listening to different astrologers, listening to your sun, moon, and rising, even with prioritizing the rising, will give you a good idea. Please also listen to the beginning, because I talk about how this new moon is so much more than just a new moon. This new moon is actually pressing a button that is reactivating the story of the Virgo eclipse back in September, which had to do a lot with, water break. Which for you maybe riled things up a lot emotionally, mentally, spiritually, maybe birthed a new beginning in terms of life philosophy that's played out the last 6 months, lessons to do with your spirituality, hidden secrets, maybe brought endings for you, and is now coming out and affecting maybe your daily life, maybe your work, maybe your health somehow. And so go back and listen to that, the beginning, because I really talk about that. This new moon is also tying with the spring equinox, which is the astrological new moon that's happening less than 48 hours after this new moon. So I believe this is going to actually, this new moon will bring a new beginning for you that will last way beyond the regular new moon time frame and actually be an energy that plays out for the next astrological year. Want to know more about that? Listen to the beginning. I also go into all the aspects there. Now, for you, Libra risings, this could be a new chapter for you in terms of health. Maybe you've been getting super strict about a health routine. Maybe you've had some health scares or been struggling with some health problems for a while, and suddenly you find something, and maybe it's just a change in the energy, change in your mental state, change in your emotional change in your spirituality, change in your nervous system, or you've hired some kind of a practitioner, you started a new regimen, and the stars and planets here are telling me that this is something that is blessed, is very lucky for you, is fated for you to find, and it's going to bring in great, it's a blessed sky for you to do that, and it's indicating a positive change, positive new beginning when it comes to health. For some of you, this can also strongly be tied to work, right? You could be having Jupiter here, just went direct over a week ago. So if you had been feeling very stagnant with work, or things were slowed down or whatever, so there could be a sudden new expansion, a sudden new beginning coming in work. If you had things go wrong with work, and with work feel like, it's just not working, it's just going so much slower than I wanted, or not how I planned, things will start to be moving faster, or those things happen for a reason that you don't really see right now, is actually tied to bringing you more blessings, bringing you something more positive. For some of you, you could have had lessons to do with work-life balance the last few months. And how that affects your mental health, how that affects the things that have ended that you've had to pick over work. And this could be now like a new beginning where you're now bringing in better balance to do with that, or just a better work routine that sets you up for seeing success in career, but also sets you up for seeing success in your health. For some of you, you're also wanting to get serious about like your emotional state, about where you live, about your sense of family and your sense of home. And this is actually very beautifully somehow fueling either your health or your work changes or new beginnings. So this could mean that maybe sense of home, sense of family, sense of belonging, sense of stability, sense of emotional security, sense of where you live, could have been fueling you to want to make changes to your daily routine, or to your work life, or to your health. For some of you, you could be having a sudden spiritual epiphany, or a sudden healing milestone, or a sudden like birth of energy to do with transmuting some stuck energy, some dark emotions, some trauma, or some limiting belief. And there's suddenly like this really sudden change that seems like a phoenix just rose, sudden death and rebirth. And it could trigger, in some cases, this is where I'm also seeing Uranus playing a part here, can trigger, this just like big transmutation of energy internally in you. This could, for some of you, tied to other people, tied to a spiritual, emotional, or sexual entanglement that you've had, and some kind of big epiphany triggers a change in that here. And one of you, like with whoever that person is, you could be drawn to each other again. A new beginning can start here. And somehow this ties to that story I've been talking about of the daily life, the work, the health, etc. And this is coming with Uranus sextiling the new moon, and the new moon sextiling Juno in the 4th. For some of you, it's going to be a smaller number, but there is some kind of a love, a spiritual love, a sexual love, like a deep, this is more of a karmic, not a bad karmic way, but like a more past life, really intense energy, love story happening here as well. Yeah. For some of you, your daily life could look like it's changing because things are changing with this person, this epiphany, this healing. Your health could be changing, right? Like stuck sexual energy, stuck trauma, stuck wounds, stuck limiting beliefs can impact physical health and can impact your ability to focus on a daily basis. So that sudden change could be positively impacting that. For some of you as well, you could be talking about moving in with a partner, and that's going to impact what your daily life works like, your daily routine, your daily work life. For some of you, you could be feeling like you wish you had someone to share your daily life with, and this could be bringing a new beginning as well. Okay, Libras, that's all I've got for you. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. I would love to just hear from you, and love to hear also what resonated the most. Please like or subscribe if this was helpful at all. It helps me so much, and I greatly appreciate it. And please also do not forget to listen to the beginning of this video. It's so important. And as well, don't forget to listen to the other signs, your sun, moon, and rising. Your rising is going to be the most accurate, and you can calculate that online for free. Okay, thank you, Libra, and I will see you next time. Hello, Scorpio. Hello, Scorpio. Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio risings. Mercury retrograde is in full play here because I have to re-record this for you. I had to re-record your video, and then my recording was supposed to save on the computer. Instead, it went to the cloud, so I had to re-download it, and it was worse quality. Anyway, so lots of things going wrong. But anyway, let's get to your sign. It's still going to be an amazing forecast, a great reading. There's lots happening in the skies. You're going to love it. Okay, before starting, I just want to really point out the importance of listening to the beginning. I know I say this in all videos, but that's because I do put a lot of massive information there and values, and I still have further predictions and forecasting on the personal level just for the collective, but it goes into more detail of like the minute aspects. At the beginning, I also explain the timing and why this is more than just a regular Pisces new moon, and why this forecast will actually last longer and be for a bigger period than just the 3 days post that is normally associated with the new moon, or the 30 days, the month following, and how this actually is activating the total solar eclipse in Virgo that happened in September, and also tying to the spring equinox, which is happening less than 48 hours after this Pisces new moon. And the spring equinox is the astrological new year, aka the real new year. All right, so that's a lot, and I go into all of that detail at the beginning. So please do listen to that. And without further ado, let's jump into the forecast bit. This new moon is happening on March 18th at 28 degrees of Pisces. For you, beautiful, darling Scorpios, you know you are one of actually my favorite signs. Not that I have favorites. Wink, wink. But it's bringing a new beginning when it comes to either entrepreneurship, your self-embodiment, your self-expression, your creativity, having a child, inner child healing. That, okay, yes, this house does mean that, but I have rarely seen new moons here actually associate with that. But whatever, okay. Romance, flings, passion, intimacy, date, and I mean it like more on the dating level before it can really develop into something more serious. And so, pardon, I'm sick in case you didn't watch the beginning and missed that part. Okay, so, and for you, a lot of this is being driven by, maybe it's, well, this can mean so many things. Some of you may have recently been going through a lot of philosophical changes, spiritual changes, worldview changes, changes on what matters the most to you in life, changes on your spirituality, or changes when it comes to travel, or your want for curiosity, learning, and exploration. And this is somehow either triggering you to go after your passions, your dreams, start a new hobby, do something you've always wanted, express that creative energy, use your voice, embody your true self. If this has to do with having kids, then this is a powerful, strong beginning, and you could be getting very powerful information here. Honestly, if I'm honest, it is looking very coded for love, and I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that because the asteroid Juno is about commitment. Commitment in general, just committing, but also it represents spouses, and it is actually sextiling this new moon and creating almost like a mini grand trine. So instead of trining, sextiling. So the new moon is sextiling Juno, but also the new moon is sextiling Uranus in the 7th house, which does have to do with relationships. And 5th house talks about romance, and Juno in there is about relationship as well. So it is really giving relationship energy. To me, it's giving like maybe you're going to get a message or have a conversation or communication with someone that you've we're dating or we're seeing or are attracted to, unexpectedly wanting something more serious, turning into some deeper feelings, wanting commitment, wanting partnership, something like that. If you're already involved in something like that, it can go to the next level. Or you could be having thoughts on what partnership means to you, and you could be evaluating if you're going towards that direction with someone you're dating or talking to or getting to know, or with how you're dating. This could also look like if you are dating someone, it can look like, or married to someone, or in a relationship with someone, it could look like some kind of change is triggering suddenly a new wave in how you guys relate in terms of romance and passion and sex together. It could look like, let's see, it could look like exploring new hobbies or finding new ways to have joy with your partner. Oh, obviously, I don't know how I didn't see this. It could quite literally look like you're getting news that you're pregnant. It could look like they're giving birth as well. It could look like you and your partner talking about having children. It could look like traveling for love. It could look like meeting someone long distance or from a different culture or from a different country. It could look like meeting or wanting partners that align with your life philosophy and spirituality. It could look like evaluating how much of that is active, like how much you guys are compatible when it comes to life views, political views, philosophical views, religious views, etc. And it could look like meeting someone that you are compatible with all that stuff, and then suddenly feeling so, and like wanting to start something romantically, maybe when it's been really dry for a while. It could look like being on vacation or traveling with someone you love, or going to somewhere you always wanted to go as a child, or healing your inner child wounds, actually, and seeing how they've impacted you in your life and your beliefs and your views. It could look like if you are with someone, your partner pushing you to follow your dreams and embody your true self and to start some kind of hobby or project. For some of you, it could look like getting serious about advertising your business or your project or your creative skill on social media and getting serious about selling that and getting serious about communicating that. So let me know which one of those you are. Are you the one who is experiencing more the romance, the love? Are you the starting of it, the blooming of it? Are you the one experiencing the serious part of it? Are you the one experiencing the lessons about embodying of it? Like you could suddenly decide, I don't like how I've been dating guys or women or men, sorry, both, whatever. I've been dating people who are not aligned to my philosophical, spiritual life views. So it could be you're setting a new beginning and starting to date again. Are you the one who's dating someone and you're talking about getting more serious, getting married or having kids? Are you the couple that got a notification that got a message that you're pregnant, or did you just give birth? Are you the more embodiment story about expressing your true self, your hobbies, or some kind of entrepreneurship? Are you the one, I'm repeating myself here, but you get the idea. Let me know which one that was. That's all I have for you today. I'm sorry. Dear Lord, I just saw that my bedroom has been in this cut. I think I might have to cover it like this. Yeah, I was actually going to bed and editing. I'm trying to avoid editing the video when I realized, oh my God, I have to redo Scorpio. And so I'm dressed for bed, and it's a bit chaotic in the house right now. I mean, not too chaotic, but here we are. I'm definitely not redoing that. Thanks, and let me know which part resonated, which part didn't, and if you have any questions, leave it down below. Okay, Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Risings. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces forecast. This is not a normal new moon. This is going to be tying to the eclipse that happened September 21st. March 3rd was the full moon eclipse in Virgo that closed off that total solar eclipse that happened in September. So if nothing significant happened then, this new moon is actually pressing a button again on the eclipse because it's a I go into that in the beginning, so actually go listen. And this new moon is also tied to the spring equinox, which is going to impact you for the next year. Go listen to the beginning, and I make personal level predictions on that level. So go listen there. So this new moon is happening at 28 degrees of Pisces. And for you, it's bringing a new beginning when it comes to home, when it comes to family, when it comes to your sense of emotional self. For some of you, this could also have to do with your mother, like a new relationship with your mother or healing some kind of a mother wound. For a lot of you, this could look like moving to a new place, or looking at a new home to buy, or wanting, maybe feeling an emotional nudge to move somewhere else, or actually moving somewhere else, but that decision was driven by intuition or emotions versus logic, for example. For some of you, you could have been moving for love. For some of you, you could have been moving for healing, or this move came after healing or as a part of you healing. For some of you, this change in home or move or family could have to do with finances. Maybe you're providing for someone or someone is providing for you, and that could have been what triggered this move. For some of you, you could have inherited money as well, or inherited a new home or something like that. For some of you, let's see what else here. For some of you as well, there could be something to do with a change in job that is causing some kind of a change in life, or a change in money. Some of you could definitely be buying new real estate for sure. Sagittarius rising, I definitely see that. There's some kind of a commitment here. Maybe you're finally committing to real estate, either as a new investment or as a new place for you to live. There's definitely that here. And the stars are indicating that this is a lucky time to do that. And whatever move you're considering here is good as well. Some of you could be taking out a loan or a mortgage to finance that real estate. Some of you could be thinking about getting serious with a partner, and did I already say this one? And wondering what this means in terms of you planning for your future, you investing, and also where to live. Some of you could be having sudden change in your work life, in your daily work life, and your health that caused you to rethink your work-life balance or your daily routine or where you want to live, or maybe it gives you more money so you're able to invest. That's basically it for you. It's a very blessed sky, and it's kind of like tying all together, like even though it has to do with home and family. Oh, some of you could have healed a wound that heals your relationship with your family. Some of you could be longing to be closer with family, and that's triggering the change. But it's a blessed sky. It's a very beautiful, blessed new beginning. And it's going to tie for some of you to do with an idea you've had since September, a career change you had in September, maybe in the last 6 months, you've had a lot of career changes, promotion, raise, and change in boss, management. Maybe you got a leadership position, and this is allowing you somehow to change your emotional state, or to change where you live, or to buy a new property, or to upgrade where you live, etc. Okay, thank you, Sag, rising, suns, and moons. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please do not avoid the beginning, because it'll allow you to take what I just said now and to apply it in a bigger level to the rest of your life. So you'll understand that if you watch the beginning. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you've appreciated this video, I would love to hear it if one part resonated more than the other. And also, if you liked it, a like or a subscribe helps me out so much, and I would be so grateful. It's good to be back on YouTube in chaos, which I think I also explained in the beginning. So I've been gone a while, which I am sorry for. I hope it stabilizes, but I'm not actually quite sure. Anyway, and I will see you in the next video. Sorry, Capricorn risings, Capricorn suns, Capricorn moons. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces forecast. The new moon is happening on March. So for you, it's in the third house. All right, back. I'm sorry that we lost you there. Okay. So Capricorn, for you, this new moon could be bringing a new beginning when it comes to your relationship with your siblings or in the lives of one of your siblings. This new moon could also be bringing a new beginning if for you showing up on technology or social media is important for you at all. The third house in Pisces, right? That's a big indicator if you're actually like astrology, tarot, daily divination. So you could have some kind of a breakthrough if you practice with that, or if you're working with an astrologer, a tarot person, or if you are an astrologer or you want to get into that, this is indicating a new beginning with that over here. And it's indicating a time where a lot of new downloads happen with that here. Ninth house is normally associated with things like astrologers, etc. But the third house brings it down to a personal level, a daily level, and craft level. You could also maybe be wanting to take a course when it comes to this, or learn more about it, or hire a practitioner. If so, hello. I'm just kidding. But this could be that here. You could have a sudden change in mind of what you think about that. With Pisces here, and third house is about thoughts and thinking and communicating as well. You could be having like a lot of big intuitive downloads. For some of you, this could have to do with relationships. So if you're having like emotional, intuitive nudges to do with like relationships, like maybe you're in a relationship and you're not feeling it, but you don't know why, you feel like something's wrong. Or maybe you're in a partnership and you're having an intuitive nudge that could help your partner. Or maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you meet someone and you're just getting this urge of, oh my God, maybe I should reach out to them, whatever. You could be having intuitively driven nudges to do with that as well. For some of you, you could be getting you could be getting a message that comes in to do with a relationship or a business partnership or something like that. For some of you, you could have a sudden epiphany or a change of thought or a change of how you communicate that comes from a conversation with someone you care about, or that comes from a relationship or relationship change. This could be in a positive way. For example, maybe you were having a hard time with a relationship and then one of you learned how to communicate better and it's improved. Or this could look like someone communicating their needs suddenly and it brought something good. For some of you, this could have looked like maybe a relationship ended, but it taught you how to think better, communicate better. For some of you, someone from the past could be reaching out. You could be reaching out with someone. You could be receiving a message or a text, something like that. For some of you, this could also have triggered changes to do with your sense of self, etc. That is flooding in with how you think. Maybe you've been working a lot on yourself, or maybe you suddenly have this new energy and new want to commit to yourself. And this could be really changing how you think, how you view the world, how you talk, how you communicate. Again, if you use social media or if you teach or if you write or anything like that, this could show up in that. If you're in your own business, this could be a new beginning that's coming to do with your own business that is being driven by intuitive downloads. Some of you could be having a sudden change to entrepreneurship or hobbies or passion that is driving you, showing up in a new way. Like maybe you're getting this intuitive nudge download to start a TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, and it's being driven by your passion or your hobbies. For some of you, I don't know why I'm saying I hate to bring it back to relationships. I actually love relationships. Some of you could have a sudden change in a romance, a fling that like texts you or changes the way you think, or you have some kind of conversation that's different. Some of you could be meeting someone on a dating app, etc. Or they show up how you show up. They change how you show up online, or they change how you think, how you communicate. Some of you, your sibling could be getting pregnant or having kids. Some of you, your partner could be, this is a very small number. For some of you lucky people out there, your partner could be buying you a car. This is a very small number. Some of you could start a fling with a neighbor, a very small number. By the way, if you are one of those where it's this very small number, I would actually love to know that, because that's very juicy. Please leave that in the comment section below. That's it, Caps, Risings, Suns, and Moons. If you have any questions, if some part of that resonated more than the other, even if or maybe like your sun or rising or moon forecast resonated more than the other, I'd love to know that. Let me know. Please listen to the beginning. I can't remember how much I emphasized it in your sign reading, but the beginning will actually give you more predictions, because this is a general reading. It's not to the same level of accuracy as a personal one. So I have general collective level predictions for everyone that just go deeper, that are into all the other aspects and everything. I also explain the timing of this new moon and why this new moon is more important in the beginning. Anything else I'd want to say? Some of you could have sudden changes to do with your business that might force you to travel, or that change the way you think, or that change some communication, but it's also tied to relationship. It just hit me. Some of you could have a sudden change in the way you think when it comes to do with the balance of entrepreneurship, your relationship, your business, your passion, your sense of self, and love relationship. Like what I mean is like, they could be a blessing of a bunch of them tying together. Changes happening in all of them are linked, even in ways that you might not currently understand it. Sorry, I'm sick, so breathing is a bit hard right now. Okay, yeah, I think that's all I've got for you, all the different possible ways that I can interpret this. Without, of course, seeing your actual charts. Let me know if you have any questions. Sorry that the tech mishap happened with your sign. And see you in either the next video or your next sign. Okay, right. Aquarius. Oh, yes, I started with Pisces. So actually we're at the last one here. Aquarius, Aquarius suns, Aquarius moons, Aquarius risings. Welcome to your new moon in Pisces forecast. Sorry, I've been going without a break and I'm sick, so I needed the water break. Okay. Pisces, Aquarius, there's a reason that I am making a video about this new moon when I am sick and I am tired and I just missed my chance to go for a walk outside because the sun set, and it's just a new moon, sun eclipse. The reason is, it's because it's not just a new moon. If you haven't yet, please go back and listen to the beginning, because I talk in the beginning about why this new moon is not just a new moon, why it is important, how it ties to the spring equinox, the energy that will affect you the entire next astrological year, but especially the next 3 months, and how it actually ties to something to do with fate and something that started stirring for you back in September. And if the March 3rd eclipse didn't bring some kind of a change that you were wanting, tied to that thing in September, this new moon is pressing a button that will tie it to now. I go into all those details at the beginning. I also have predictions on a personal level, collective level, but for personal. Since this is a general reading, I really recommend you listen to that, because I can't see your chart unless we do a personal reading. So listening to those as well as listening to this, and listening for your rising sun and moon will give you the most accurate picture. Right, so for you, Aquarius, suns, moons, or risings, this is going to be tied to a new beginning, that has to do with money, assets, net worth, real estate, investment, or self-worth and values. Now, this is being heavily driven by some kind of either an intuitive nudge that you're getting, like maybe you've been getting this nudge to just invest in some kind of a stock or to buy real estate, or getting a nudge to start saving, or getting a nudge to buy, invest in something. Or this could be also being driven by a mental health or emotional or spiritual change you've had. What I mean by that is maybe you had limiting beliefs when it comes to money, so you were too scared to make certain financial moves, and then you suddenly had a new epiphany or a new positive change here, or a new positive momentum, and that's driving this change. For some of you, this could be being driven by some kind of an ending or something coming to light, or you discovering something new. And this could be driving change to do with how you invest your net worth, you making more money coming in, like some kind of ending. Maybe you didn't expect to birth something new, or it could be tied to a new opportunity coming in real estate, or a new sense of values. For example, you suddenly, what you used to value changed. Like maybe you valued money more, and now it means something different to you. Maybe you have a new beginning in how you're handling your values. Maybe you've been making good money with work, but then your work life was off balance, so you made some changes there, and that somehow affected all of this. For some of you, you could have had a promotion, and it was just bringing in more money flow, and you're thinking of what to do with that money. For some of you, there also could be a sudden change in your living situation. For some of you, you could have owed someone money the past few months, and suddenly you're able to pay them back. For some of you, someone could have owed you money the past few months, and now they paid you back. For some of you, if you've had a loan or a mortgage, you could finally have paid that off. For some of you, you could have found tenants to rent or lease your rental property or something like that. For some of you, you could have a sudden change in family. Maybe there's heaven forbid, but a family inheritance coming through. Heaven forbid, like in case it came from, someone passing away, hopefully not. For some of you, it could be that your family could be coming together to invest in something, or your family's entire net worth, assets, or home. There's a change to do with that. For some of you, a change in your health, a change in your thinking, a change in your daily routine, a change in your work life is changing your values, or changing how you budget, or changing how you invest, or changing your assets and net worth. Some of you could have gotten a promotion or a raise, or more stock. Let's see, what else can we do here? Some of you, this change, did I mention real estate? Because some of you are seriously considering buying real estate, or maybe just bought some, or renting something out, or leasing a new place for yourself. Some of you could be moving, and that might even require you to invest more money than you have in the past with where you live. And maybe in the past you were hesitant to do that because you were more conscious. It felt like maybe you were more in a lack mentality state. And so now you're suddenly investing more than you ever have, and in things that are to do with just enjoyment, to do with improving your daily life, improving your living situation. And this came because suddenly you have a new relationship with money, or you have a new relationship with what you value. And so that's brought some kind of a change into your emotional state, or your living situation, or your daily routine, or your home, etc. Some of you are having a new birth of your relationship with money, and you're abandoning, oh, totally, how did I not see this? You're abandoning limiting beliefs to do with that. Okay, let me know which one of those was you in the comment section below. Overall, this is a very blessed time. So if you're wanting to make investments, changes, real estate moves, or fix your relationship with money, or budgeting, or anything like that, or then I would highly advise you to pay attention to your intuition, to not let fear guide you, to pay attention to the signs that you're getting. Things could even come through in dreams. Things could be coming in signs, nudges. Here, you're really going to want to listen to your intuition, because this is happening in Pisces, but also the ruler of this is in Cancer. So it's like super emotionally driven and intuitive driven decisions. But here, what we're seeing with Jupiter being direct, ruler of this new moon, is that it's actually bringing you blessings, bringing you something good. Some of you maybe need to listen to that more. So if in the past, logic told you, oh, I can't invest in somewhere nicer to live, or I shouldn't invest in that, I should be more cautious with that, or money, or whatever, but you've just been getting these nudges, or you thinking like that has negatively affected you emotionally, now positively listening to those things will bring in more blessings for you, even if that blessing is expanding the joy in your life, expanding your daily life, expanding your health, expanding your mental health. You're learning that money is not just about hoarding it. It's also about, what does money buy me? Does money buy me blessings here? And there's some kind of a new beginning to do with that as well, if the new beginning is not more money itself. Okay. Aquariuses. Let me know if that resonated. Let me know what part resonated the most. If you have any questions as well, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to listen to your other signs as well. And it's good to be back. I haven't made a video in a while. And this new moon feels very big for me. That's why I wanted to. I also wanted to come back. So it helps me out a lot, especially since I've been gone a while. Any like, any subscription, any comments, any share will help me get back into good terms with the algorithm after my my life-induced disappearance. And yes, so grateful as well for any support. And this is a beautiful new moon. It's bringing new beginnings for everyone. At the same time, there's a lot of high emotions happening both in personal life, a lot of action being taken, and also a lot of anger in some cases, and a lot of what seems like chaos in the external world. Just know that there's still beautiful new beginnings that are coming on a personal level. All right, that's it for me. I'll end the video here, and thank you so much.